Last week's video was a lot of work, so you'll excuse me if I retreat back to my easiest video format for this week. Hello there, welcome back to the channel. I am Grand Moff Tony. All joking aside, last week's video and the reception to it has been fantastic. Like, my wife and I have wanted to make that kind of content for a really long time, so seeing so many people show up for it is incredibly validating. As we said at the time, it's not going to be a super regular thing just because it is so intensive. Like, it takes a lot of time to record, it took a lot of time to edit, so it's probably going to be something that we do like every now and then, and we're definitely going to give ourselves a lot more time to get it ready next time because now we know how long it takes. So yeah, I just wanted to take this couple of seconds at the start of the video to say thank you to everyone who showed up for the last video and made it as successful as it was. We really appreciated the feedback. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys about it. But with that all out of the way, it is time to return to one of my favorite videos that I do on this channel, which is Fine Additions.
Fine addition to my collection.
Yes, it is once again time to sit down and have a look at the new additions to my collection over the past 2 months. I think the 2-month structure is really working at the moment for these videos because I'm not getting a ton of figures all at once anymore because of the different projects that we're working on. So today I'm going to go over the fine additions to my collection from the months of August and September. August was a little slow, September was a lot of fun, and there is one thing in particular that I am really excited to talk about. So let's not waste any time, let's get straight into it. Right at the start of the month of August, I swung into my local GameStop, and I kept seeing that Bastila Shan statue that they've got, and it was really pretty, but it's really expensive. And then one time I was looking at it, and just behind it, on the racks of shelves beyond where they store it, I saw the Black Series Gaming Greats Bastila Shan, so I snapped that up in an instant, and what a great figure. Like, the female figures in this line have really come a long way, and Bastila is by far one of the best that they've ever done. Her lightsaber is incredible. You can get some really great action poses and really great neutral poses out of this great modern articulation. It's such a good figure, and I've got a slowly growing little collection of these Old Republic figures that they're putting out. I was never really big into the games. I tried to play the original Old Republic game recently. I just had a lot of trouble getting into it, but the characters are fantastic, and obviously I played Galaxy of Heroes a lot, and there was a long time where Bastila was like the best Jedi lead that you could have. So this was a no-brainer to add to the collection. She's a fantastic figure, probably one of the best of the year, to be honest, and it is getting to that point where I've got to start thinking about what were the top 10 best figures that came out this year. Bastila is a very strong contender, so very pleased to add her to the collection. A few weeks later, towards the end of the month, I also stopped into the same GameStop and came away with Old Master Maul. I mean, that GameStop was just doing really well for new Gaming Greats figures this last couple of months. And yeah, Maul is incredible. Like, this is one of the best figures they've ever done of him, and it just is so pleasing to me because I've said it a million times on the channel, I'll say it again, I am the biggest fan of Star Wars Rebels, and I absolutely loved the way that they incorporated Maul into that story, and this figure is a perfect representation of that. I mean, do I think he could have come with the bandolier and the hood? Yeah, probably, but obviously this is a gaming tie-in with Battlefront 2, and he doesn't have that look in the game. And of course, this ties more into how he looks in Season 3 of Rebels as opposed to his little appearance at the end of Season 2. So it's much more established, but still a kind of lanky-looking evil man hiding in caves, trying to get kids to do dark side stuff. The articulation on this guy is next level. Like, I thought that Clone Wars Maul was going to be the be-all and end-all of Maul figures that we got, but seriously, the articulation on this new Maul is so good. I had to get him into a cool action pose, so I kind of stole the pose from one of my wife's Sasuke Uchiha statues and just kind of recreated it with my Maul, and I think he looks fantastic. To be perfectly honest, another strong contender to join the top 10 best of the year. It's going to be really really tough to narrow that list down this year. I'm already kind of dreading it. And then after that, we've got to do an update to the best of all time because there have definitely been some mix-ups. But this one is absolutely fantastic. I'm so pleased to have it. He makes a fine addition to my Rebels display. Welcome to my collection, Old Master Maul. Moving on from August into September, I had kind of a dry month for the first few weeks. I mean, I've been kind of busy, what with college being back on and doing a lot of work in the basement, and I didn't really get a chance to get out and go looking for new figures very much. But with the new Ahsoka show coming out, I really wanted to find those new figures. So I hit the road, and on a chance trip to Walmart, I came away with the new Ezra Bridger. Now, this is obviously kind of an imagining of what the live-action actor would look like as Season 3 and 4 Ezra, so it doesn't really bear much of a resemblance to how he looked in the show, and obviously they recreated that look for the hologram scene at the start of the series, but I gotta be honest, I'm absolutely loving this new Ezra figure, and I am 100% counting this as getting what I wanted from my wishlist for Star Wars Rebels, which is more of the Season 3 and 4 appearances of the characters. I am absolutely counting this as I got what I wanted, so yes, give me more. This really is a very definitive look for Ezra. Like, as much as I love the original Red Line and Galaxy Line version of Ezra's figure, this is just a marked improvement in almost every way. He looks fantastic. The sculpt is brilliant. I love the colors and the way that they've really incorporated the live action actor's face. It just looks so cool. I mean, if this is how I have to get my Season 3/Season 4 Ezra, I am very, very pleased, and I will remain very, very pleased. So Ezra is an absolutely fine addition to my collection. In the very same Walmart, on the very same sort of improvised toy hunt, I also came across Morgan Elspeth, and I very nearly walked away from her without realizing. My wife moved a box, and there she was, hiding behind it. And this is an absolutely stellar figure. Like, the face on this is probably one of the best they've ever done. And to be honest, when they kind of pipelined her, I wasn't super thrilled. I was like, oh well, she was okay in Mandalorian. It looks like she's going to be in Ahsoka, so yeah, sure, why not? But having seen Ahsoka and having seen like how important she was to that story, I am absolutely thrilled to pick this up. Do I wish she came with some accessories? Yeah, kinda. But the spear really wouldn't have made sense because that was for Mandalorian. And really, all of the stuff that she could theoretically have come with from the Ahsoka series, you can kind of count them as being a little bit spoilery. Like the map to the other galaxy, yeah, she could have come with that, but it would have been a bit spoilery. At the time, there was no confirmation that she was actually a Night Sister, so including any of the wicked, like, cool Night Sister stuff would have been a spoiler. And of course, the big one would have been the sword, the blade of Talzin. That would have ruined that reveal for me. Like, how cool was it seeing that, like, for the first time on screen, and for once, not having toys spoil what happens in the show. Like, that happens all the time. So yeah, it's a bummer that she didn't come with any accessories, but it's such a good looking figure, and you'd think that she would be like a traffic cone, kind of like Darkseid Rey, or something akin to how they did the Mon Mothma figure from Andor, but no, she can pull some great poses, and I guess, having seen the series, now we know why we needed to do that, because she's an absolute warrior. So yeah, I might actually splash out and indulge in some 3D printed accessories for this figure, because I feel like she needs it to really elevate her, but to be fair, just as a standalone figure, I am absolutely thrilled with this, so I came away happy either way. Towards the end of September, I took one final trip to GameStop just to see if they had anything, and my god, am I so pleased that I did. The first thing I found on that final trip was the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. I have been looking for this figure for so long. I was this close to going out and dropping a bunch of money on the old Blue Line figure, and I am so glad that I didn't, because this is a marked improvement over that. It's not the best Mark Hamill likeness they've ever done, but really, the way I think about it, when I get my Emperor's Throne Room display set up, I'm probably not going to have Luke facing outwards anyway. I'm probably going to have him facing up the stairs as he's fighting Vader, so really it makes no difference. And the articulation on this, and the fact that they went the extra mile and included that extra chest piece just in case you wanted it, it's brilliant. I guess Luke Skywalker is really like lengthening his lead over other characters that I've got multiples of, because I just keep finding new Luke Skywalkers to add to my collection. I really like this figure. Like, the lightsaber looks fantastic. It's just a good looking figure, and it is the definitive Luke. Like, Jedi Luke is definitive Luke. So I'm really, really glad to add this to my collection, and he's gonna make such a good addition to my Emperor's Throne Room display. So very, very happy with that. Speaking of the Emperor himself, on that same trip to GameStop, I also picked up the 40th anniversary Royal Guard. I cannot tell you how pleased I was to find this guy, because it's one of those older figures that I've never managed to track down, and I never wanted to drop the money on it. I think I said this back when we covered PulseCon last year, when they originally pipelined this figure, and I was like, you know what? It's one of those figures that I've always wanted, but I've never wanted to drop the money on it. As soon as I saw this guy on the shelf, I snatched him up, no questions asked. Like, I only managed to find the one, so I really do want to find a second one to frame my Emperor, because right now I have him framed by a couple of those Senate Guard figures, but I really want to get the red guys standing either side of him. And I know it's not technically accurate to the scene, but they will be going in my Emperor's Throne Room display, because it's my display and I'll do what I want. To be honest, this guy could have just been a statue, and I would have been happy. I mean, I think they do that in the SH Figure Arts. I'm pretty sure they're just statues with maybe their arm can move a little bit, but you could really pull some great poses out of this if you really wanted to. Like, you can fold that cape back and there is a whole articulated body underneath. I love it. I am so pleased to have finally tracked this guy down, and I will be doubling my efforts to find a second one now. Now that I've got one, I need that second one, so I will be going out looking for it. In the meantime, the Royal Guard is a great addition to my collection, and one that is a long time coming. But by far and away, my final addition to the collection this month was the finest edition, because I finally tracked down Darth Malgus. I am so thrilled with this figure. I cannot begin to tell you. From the moment I got it out of the box, I haven't been able to leave it alone. It is so good, and they have nailed that soft goods hood. It is the best they have ever done. This is the strongest contender for figure of the year that I have managed to come across, and he will also be bullying his way into the top 10 best of all time when we do that again in January. I can tell you that right now, like right off the bat. It's so imposing. It's such a big figure. He just towers over everyone around him. I absolutely love it. But by far the best thing about this figure, the thing that I am most pleased about, he was absolutely free. Free? So let me explain. Obviously, GameStop has their rewards program, and I guess we found out recently that we just had tens of thousands of points at GameStop because we were cluelessly blundering away, not knowing that we had them. And it turned out that, yeah, we could cash them all in, and I came away with Darth Malgus being absolutely free. I could not believe my luck. So not only did I get to add one of the best Black Series figures they've ever done to my collection, not only did he meet and exceed every expectation that I had for him, but I didn't pay a damn penny for him, and I am so pleased. There are so many figures in my past that I overpaid for because I had to have them right now. I feel like I've been vindicated by the fact that I got Darth Malgus for free. I am so pleased. It's such a great figure. The soft goods are perfect. His face is incredible. I feel like no matter how big he is and how bulky he is, we're going to be able to get all kinds of great action poses out of him. I haven't really experimented with it yet because every time I pick him up, I just kind of get fixated on what a good looking figure he is, and I forget to play with him, and I just want to have him kind of standing and looking really imposing. But yeah, this guy is incredible. Easily one of the best they have ever done in the past 10 years of the Black Series. Darth Malgus is the finest addition to my collection from the months of August and September. And I wanted to add this on the end here because I wasn't the only one who had some great additions to their collection this month. My wife also picked up the Black Series Force FX Elite Ahsoka Tano lightsaber, and it is absolutely incredible. She wanted it for our wedding in January because I've got Count Dooku's lightsaber, so she wanted to have Ahsoka's lightsaber, and I am so pleased with it. It's awesome. Like, the fact that you can remove the blade, you can change the color, like, what? It is such a good lightsaber, and it really makes me want to go out there and buy some more. But yeah, that one is technically my wife's, so I wanted to include that on the end anyway. So there you have it. Those were the fine additions to my collection from the months of August and September. Let me pass this subject off to you, as I always like to do. Did you get any great additions to your collection in the past couple of months? I'm always interested to hear about it, so let me know down below in the comments and I'll respond to each and every one of you. Coming up next week, we will be talking about 5 characters from the Book of Boba Fett that I would like to see come to the Black Series, and we're going to be doing it using some great modern techno magic, because next week I will actually be in Kentucky going to a university event with my wife, but we'll have the video ready to upload before we leave, and it'll just look like we're still here and we're just uploading videos from our room while we're in a different state. Why not? And you know what? While I'm there, maybe we'll film a special little Kentucky edition toy hunt just for the fun of it. In the meantime, however, I've been Grand Moff Tony. Those were the fine additions to my collection from the months of August and September. You may subscribe when ready. Intro. Back at the... Voice break.